offence would that be?
Like, I know where like people like you get one big group like despise you, but they can't stop like promoting and like quoting your shit, and then the other half like just can't get enough of it because they love it and they keep promoting your shit.
Yeah, true. So, welcome to Hotspur Way Season 2, Episode 10. You probably have no idea what Jaymes was talking about. We have something coming on next week's show, which I can't really say too much other than that. Just wanted to give you a little sample, even though you're going, but Jaymes, I still don't understand what the hell you're talking about. That's fine. Wait till next week's show. So you can actually see what it is that we've got coming up. Now, I want us to get into the questions because we do have... Right, here we go. Let's... All right, Jaymes, seeing as it's just me and you.
Yeah.
George, at Don't Follow 1882, says, fish fingers were invented in Great Yarmouth.
Here we go.
Where quite a few heroin addicts live. With that in mind, have you ever been caught wanking, or do you go for the safety of a locked door shank?
Oh, good. You know what? I think I was almost caught once, but luckily, like, it was in the family house, and to get any bit of privacy, I had to stay downstairs, in the dining room, but luckily it was sort of like just hidden enough from like the pathway through to the kitchen, so anyone that would need to make a cup of tea would just sort of sneak past without ever suspecting a thing. So I've been really close.
Can I just say something? So what you've just said now, that's, you know, you get some people where one of their eyes looks straight and the other one looks to the left. I believe that these are the people that have been in your situation more than once. And what's happened is one of their eyes is constantly looking at the passageway while the other is looking wherever it needs to look, you know, to carry out the performance. And it's the wind has changed and they've stayed like that. That's what I believe is going on. It's probably a technical term, and I'm being really rude as to why their eyes are like that.
Being long-eyed.
Yeah,
that's the technical term.
I'll be honest with you. You probably have been caught. Recently, I was told that. Well, I'll say exactly how she said it to me. Yeah, I did see you doing it. It was on such a date. I went, what? I was so, because all my life, like I'm 45, and I thought I'm going to go through life never being caught. No, I've been caught, and yeah. So there you go. I have been caught. I don't know what the connection is between Great Yarmouth, people with heroin, and wanking. Am I missing something here, or do people who heroin addicts, do they wank more? Or?
Is it a thing in Great Yarmouth? Like, where does it all come into it? It's so
George, come on,
those
mate.
questions so brilliant.
We need context, right? I mean, right, another one.
Better without the context, though.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, yeah, I, you know, for that thing that we're going to do next week, hopefully, that segment, I would love George to be on it. George, DM us. You're on next week, mate, because this thing is right up your vein. Sean Wren at
Big Sean.
Sean _ Wren. Sean, is it Sean? There's so many ways of spelling Sean. This is the SHAUN version. Why
the real way?
Is that the real way?
I think it's the real way.
Why?
Because you get some people who say it as seen, as in like.
Oh, that's just stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's bollocks.
No, that's stupid. No, I thought the best way was the SHAWN, Sean.
Nah, that's a bit too. I don't know what it is. It's a bit
like
too
German.
obvious.
Yeah, but that's not German.
It's like Jaymes without a Y.
Oh, that's stupid. Then I agree. So, why are certain sections of the fan base bitch? Why are certain sections? I should read these before, right? Why are certain sections of the fan base bitch and moan about the NFL at the club, but at the same time wanking? Oh, we've got a trend going themselves about Amanda Staveley brokering a deal for a small percentage.
Oh, where do we start on that one?
Well, I didn't know that people are wanking themselves about. Are they wanking themselves because of the way she looks, or they're happy that she's going to inject money that they'll never see? What am I
I
missing?
really hope it's not the looks. I really hope it's not the looks. If it is, and you're one of those, please go and get a missus. See a real woman, honestly. Fuck me. Your standards are on the floor.
These could be
I
Spurs
want.
fans in Great Yarmouth, by the way, that we are talking about.
Well, she should fit right in, wouldn't she? She'd like all of them, all a little bit inbred. I reckon if you did hold her to a match, though, she would start to melt a bit. She's had a lot of surgery, that woman. But yeah, I think people were just thick as fuck. And it's like, it goes back to the whole thing where people say, oh, there used to be a football club over there. And all the people just moan that, oh, football stadium for football. I mean, go back a few years before most of these people were born, or even still like Tottenham fans as kids, there were many events still at White Hart Lane that weren't just football. I believe there was like rugby there before. There was boxing.
It was boxing.
There was
Yeah.
other events. Yeah, like
I went to it, so I know. I mean,
did
I
you?
was there. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, no, that's mental. And this is what I don't get. Like, it's happened before, so why now is it an issue all of a sudden we have somewhere better catered to do it? I mean, you don't see Arsenal fans moaning that the Emirates was used to host Arctic Monkeys, or West Ham fans moaning that, you know, their ground's been used for baseball. Whatever, like, just fucking grow up. Like,
By the way, that's so funny. Was West Ham Stadium really used for baseball?
yeah,
You could never hit a home run in that stadium. That's why I think it's so funny. You just can't do it. I don't care who you are. Babe Ruth. I can imagine him just saying something there. I wish Johnny was here now. Boy,
Oh.
I can't hit that home run. I can't do it. And he just keeps swinging and swinging. It's like, I don't understand. Are there spectators here?
facility, man.
I can't believe it was used for baseball. Hold on a minute. Are you talking about Upton Park or the new one?
No, the new one. The new
Oh,
one.
that's even funny. That's so fucking hilarious.
It's like a yearly thing as well.
Oh, is it?
And the best thing is they have the whole like trailer park thing, but they just go to the West Ham fans' houses for it.
We're not cancelled yet, right? Spooky says he's trying to create a Spooky's your new BFF, right? He's creating a hashtag. Scrap the fish finger question. No spook. We're not scrapping it, mate. We're not. In fact, George, can you come up with a question next week? Read it live on air when you're going to be on with us. Hopefully, unless you make a stupid excuse again, and tailor it to Spooky. Thanks very much. What else? Any other questions before we get into it? Quite a few. Hold on, we'll go into these ones later. Right, so we had a game, and I'm really happy that we didn't do a pod straight after.
Yeah. It worked out okay.
Now, there's a few things that happened. Obviously, we lost. We were winning 2-0. We lost 3-2. And being a Spurs fan of a certain age, I could see it happening. I could see it coming. It was obvious to me. And I know when these things happen, because what happens is I get out my phone and then I start playing on games I haven't played for about 3 years. And that's when I know when I'm doing that, it's going to happen. And it did. And it was like, I was sort of nonplussed about it. Then I heard what Ange said both prior to the match and after about the subs. Did you hear what he said prior to the match? But to the Brazilian reporter. He basically came.
Give us a reminder.
Came up. This is the problem with Ange. It's not a problem. I think it's fucking genius. She was like, he doesn't like stock people. That's what I'm going to say. Do you know what I mean by stock? Like, if your name's Davina, he doesn't like you, right? And now, that's an inside joke, I'm sorry. And so if you're that kind of person, you have lost him at hello, honestly, right? And so it's not the first time he's done it with, and I can't remember her name. She's a really nice lady. I've never met her, but she seems really nice. She's on the Totally Football show. I think she reports for The Guardian, for ESPN Brazil, or something like that. And she always asks these stock copy and paste questions, right? And what happens is that when you do that with Ange, he then takes the piss. But he does it in his way. And we're talking about a 60-year-old guy who actually has a better sense of humour than most people around. And so she said, what kind of games are going to be? And he said, yeah, it's going to be really open. We're both going to go at it. We're not going to hold back. Blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, that then came back to bite him because we lost 3-2. But for the love of God, guys, if you can't tell that he was being contrary at that point, you need to understand who our manager is. Like, read the Ange book. I'm staring at it right now. Mate, have you read it yet?
Hey, I've got it on order. It's on the way.
Right, hurry up, read. I'm 1/3 through. I'm up to the bit. You'll know which bit it is. It's after he has made the first team. So he's made the first team. He's come on because this guy, I can't remember his name, has just got walloped by a fan or someone, and he's come on. It's already a great read. And hopefully we'll have the author, Vince Rigari, on soon, I think. And that would be cool. We can talk about it. And we're going to ask him fish finger questions as well, which will be interesting. He's up for it, though. He won't have a problem with it. Then
real man.
Yeah, definitely real man. He takes some like proper. I mean, what's so spooky, right? He's taking a whole pack. Did you expect him to come up with an answer like that? That he would take a whole pack?
Honestly, I didn't. I didn't think he had it in him.
No, well, he does now. So after
Frosting quickly.
After the game, Ange then basically said, and I'll get this wrong, I'll butcher it, but after the game he was like, why didn't you make subs? Well, I didn't really feel. Do you know what he said? You know what he said, right? You heard it. Everyone's heard it. What he said, something along the lines of, he didn't feel it was the right thing to do. Can you say it as I'm butchering it? I'm feeling stupid.
Yeah, it was like, say he didn't think it was the right thing to do. Like it didn't feel like it'd earn the win. Stuff along the. I'm sort of paraphrasing loosely here, but basically it was like he didn't kind of want to do it. He wanted to earn it on merit, not because of like subs. I think that's broadly what he said.
Well, let's actually read it. Okay, so here we go. Yes, Guardian, I do pay you. Stop asking me. Right. Substitutions, all those kind of things, they're totally relevant to me, he said. If you're not competitive, it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get rewards. That's a new one. I actually hadn't heard that one. Okay. What can I see here from reading these quotes is that he's clearly pissed off. And the worst thing about this, I remember when we lost 5-1 to Newcastle, where apparently we were top of the league for the whole season, and Leicester won it apparently. And so we came third. Remember that? Poch then went potty because, and he says it in his book, where the worst thing about it was I couldn't tear into him after full time because they were all leaving. They were all leaving for the season. They're going to the international squads and whatever. And Ange, he said the same thing, didn't he? You posted something on the group. Do you want to tell us? Do you want to read that? I've got it here if you want.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously you need to watch the full interview for the context and tone of how it's said because it's very different, but you get the gist of what he's saying. So I'll just paraphrase. Well, I'll say from the start, he said it in quite a joking, sarcastic Ange way. So he said, you know what it's like for international football. The game finishes and everyone goes. The dressing room after the game is not the time to analyse. So I've been sitting on it for 10 days, mate, and I'm ready to explode when they get back in the building. He said a little bit like, cheeky, a little bit of grin on his face. So Ange is saying it lightly, but we all know what's going on and what's been happening with those players who didn't travel internationally and what's awaiting those players who did travel. Because we all note Ange that type of discrepancy in performance, because the first half was electric, like we were all over them, but just to concede and throw everything away like that, it's unacceptable at any level of competitive sport, not just Premier League football.
Well, At this point, because we're releasing this on Wednesday, 16th of October, 2 weeks, I think, nearly 2 weeks after the event, everyone has heard the standard gash. It's about lack of leaders. Ange shouldn't make subs, la di da di da, all of this crap. Look, it is what it is. This stuff happens. We're Spurs fans. Accept it. I mean, this is who you support. I feel sorry for you if you were brought into this club. You know, I do. I wouldn't. I don't feel sorry for you if you're like Jaymes, where you supported us during the Pochettino years, and that's all you remember. I don't feel sorry for you then. I feel sorry for people who were my age who remember Christian Gross and Jerry Francis and those people. You know, those. Oh, that's what I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the fact that this still gets you down. By now, you should have gotten over it. You should have learned that this is the team I support. I can't change it. I wish I could. I can't. They are going to do this to me. We are going to lose games. Let's move on. Is there anything else you want to say before we do move on?
Just hearing the same things, really. Like, God, it's football. We're not the only team to ever throw away a lead after winning at half time. Like, it's sport. It happens. Like, is it shit? Yeah, absolutely. Especially after doing so well in that first half. But look, statistically, it has been a bit of a trend of us this season to start giving things up a little bit more between sort of like the 55th and the sort of 70th minute. It is a trend and something Ange probably has to find a solution for, whether it's subs or a slight alteration in, game management, maybe hold on to possession a little bit more, just to recoup a little bit.
I've got a thing to say about that, though. I think I've said it on a previous pod. I know that Ange says that he wins stuff in his second season, and there's, every chance in the world that we might win a pot this season. I still believe that we won't see the Ange Ball Spurs team until what season are we in now? We're in the
24-5.
Yeah, 24-5, 25-26, until the 26-27 season. Your dog agrees with me. I really believe that, because we are talking about a complete mentality change and also having the young players grow up and create this. Look, leaders, I don't believe that they're born like that. Maybe some are. I believe that it's either thrust upon you and you just go, fuck it. I'm going to take this lot by the scruff of the neck and I'm going to go forward. And there are many types of leaders. And I believe that as we mature, that's when you're going to see leaders. And Jaymes has muted himself, which sounds like I'm talking to an... Right, okay, there you go, you're back. And that's what I believe, mate. I don't know if you heard anything I just said. But I just think it's going to take time. And we just need to get off our manager's back, because he wasn't the one. I mean, he had set the team up, as Pep says, right? I set you up so you can create the chances. It's up to you to score. He had done that. They had scored 2, and then he wasn't the one who told them to capitulate. No matter how much you think he is the one. I mean, should he have sent on Sarr and Bissouma? I remember I tweeted. I'm not tweeted. I put that in our group. Like, I think we need this, like, half time. I said I think we need Sarr and Bissouma on, but I think I made a joke out of it by saying, but without taking any subs off. That I think maybe Ange was trying to do that. That's why it took him some time. But yeah, was that a mistake? It was. And no matter what he tries to say to justify himself, that was a mistake. He has an ego. Show me any successful person who doesn't. Okay, it is what it is. And I don't know, mate. Do you want to say your little... Do you want to finish your spiel and then we'll move on to West Ham?
Yeah, no, exactly. I can really phrase it better myself, to be honest. Again, we all say, and all the pundits, the Carragers, and they will say, oh, it's naive, Ange needs to change, and he doesn't. I think there's some slight tweaks he can make, which he's already been making since he's been here in the game, like the United game last season where he moved the fullbacks out a little bit wider. He makes in-game decisions, and it's not a case of, I've said it before. It's not a case of throwing out the recipe. It's just altering the sort of quantities and the temperatures whilst things are cooking. That's all that's got to be done. And I think Ange gets a lot of stick because of his background and the fact he's not had
You'll
the
see
most
this.
traditional.
Yeah, you'll see this.
Path.
You'll see this in the book. Sorry to interrupt. You do see that. Like, Australians are quite racist. I mean, they're nearly as bad as Josh. Put it that way.
Nearly.
Yeah, nearly. And I mean, when you get the book, I don't want to spoil it for you. You'll see his roots, and that's really important. You get to know where this man came from. And sorry, mate, I interrupted you. Go on.
No. And yeah, I mean, just leaning on from that. Look, I think you can skip, scream, holler as much as you like. Ange isn't going to change for anyone. He says in like the most recent interview with Optus, where that clip about the return from international duty has come from, he says he's not going to change for anyone or for any club, any team, because this is what has got him to where he is, and it's who he is. And so if you don't like it, don't watch, don't support the club. It's that simple. If you've got that much of an issue with a manager who's our best manager in a good while, who's actually taken the club in a direction, then you're not a fan of the club. You're a fan of sort of a win now methodology. And if you want that, there are other clubs in the world for you to support. We're not Real Madrid. We don't go out to win the Champions League every season. It's not in our DNA. Would I like it to be? Yeah, 1,000%. But it's not who we are as a club right now. And just trying to get us there. And again, watch the interview of Optus, because that's where he wants us to be. He says, he wants to sort of satisfy the itch of winning a trophy, but it can't just be all or nothing for one Carabao Cup, for example. He wants to build a team that's competitive on every front, in every competition, right to the death. He wants us to be the dominant force in football. And why would you not want that just for the sake of one tin pot little trophy that, it scratches our itch, but is it going to mean anything?
Yeah, exactly. So before we end on that, Johnson, good old Brennan, he got his, was it 6 in 6?
Yeah. Oh, it might be 7 in 7 because he scored an international, unless you're already counting that.
He wears red. It doesn't count. Jamie Turtle says, when will Johnson break his streak? I'm thinking he will win the Golden Boot. Jamie is Canadian, so we won't hold that against you, mate. Do you want to say anything else? I don't. That sounded really racist. Jamie, I love Canadians. Did I ever tell you? Have I ever said what happened with me in Canada?
I don't think you have. No, this is what we need. Were you caught shagging poutine again?
No. So this was 2010 September. Landed on the day before Labor Day, 2010, and went on a road trip. Went up from Newark all the way into Maine, which for me is one of the greatest states I've been to. And then when I begged my mates who were American to take me into Canada, because my Canadian friends told me that Canada is a far better looking country than America. And I had just been in, so the only way I can describe Maine and the places in Maine, like Bar Harbor and just places that are wow, it's like Switzerland, put it that way. So then they go, okay, are you sure? We'll book. It was before Airbnb, so they found some like hotels, and we then crossed over from Maine into Quebec. We went into on the way to Montreal. Now I know now. But back then, I didn't really know much about Canada. And we had crossed over from Switzerland into what I can only call, I was going to say Swiss cottage. No, I can't use that because Swiss cottage is far too nice. Another SW. We crossed over from Switzerland into Swindon. That's the only way to describe it. And I'm just thinking, where did all the trees go? Where are all the people gone? What is this? It was like we had gone back a century. Anyway, we go to this hotel. It was pissing down raining. I remember we went to this cafe called Tim Hortons. Coffee was really cool. I remember that. and then the girls wanted to go to a mall. And remember, I didn't know much about Canada at this point. I thought all of Canada spoke English. That's how stupid I was back then. Not much has changed, but just bear that in mind. I didn't know that. I mean, I had heard that they speak French, but I just thought, okay, like they learn French in school like us. I didn't fucking know. And we were in the French heartland. I shit you not, mate. So we go to the mall, and I'm really bored. And I love my films. I'd never been to the cinema alone. I just thought, fuck it, I'll go to the cinema alone. So I go up. I remember going up the escalators, and I walk in, just like we see in the malls in the UK or wherever you are. You see the cinema there. Go in, and they had all the films listed, but with French titles. Like, I can't remember what films they were. Don't ask me to remember that. Oh, actually, one of them was Day and Night. I remember Day and Night or Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron
Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. Yeah, and it was in French. So I go up to the counter and I said to them, "Oh, are the films in French or are they in English?" And she spoke to me in French. I said, "Sorry, I don't understand." And when I said that, not only did I realise two things. Number one, she was really upset. Number two, she definitely understood what I said. And then she raised her voice and it was like, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't, mate, I did French GCSE. I can't fucking, I don't know anything, right? I remember La Rochelle, right? La Rochelle was in all the textbooks and there were some fit birds in that textbook. That was it. That's all I remember from French lessons. And so I said, "I'm sorry, you don't have to raise your voice." As I then start to get pissed off. Then she goes back and she must have called what I can assume was the manager. He comes forward and he starts literally yelling in French. I said, guys, what the fuck? What's going on here? And then he said in a perfect English accent, "We don't speak English here. Please leave." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay, well, I'm going to leave. But first of all," I took out my wallet. I took out their fucking dollars with our Queen's face on it. I said, "Who's out on your fucking money?" And then I left. And that's my story of Quebec. And then I got all of my mates. I got all of Andy. And I said, "Andy, you told me that Canada's better." He goes, "Where did you go?" And I told him. He goes, No. The west side, British Columbia's beautiful. You went on the east side. I said, "Oh, for fuck's sake." I said, "How big is Canada?" He goes, "Bigger than America." Imagine how stupid I was all those years ago. Right, so yeah, that's my story of me being an idiot in Canada and racist. I probably would have voted Brexit back then. I mean, it sounds like I would have, right? Where were we? West Ham. Did we? Oh, no, we haven't. We need to finish Jamie Turtle's question. Is he going to get a golden boot? Can you imagine if Brennan Johnson gets a golden boot?
Oh, my God. The scenes, the absolute fucking scenes, because he's been back in them. I mean, I think probably he could finish as top scorer for us this season as well, let alone just a Barclays golden boot. What are the actual stats saying? Because is he our top scorer at the minute? He's our top scorer in the league and probably by default all comps. Yeah, I mean, why not? I'd love to see it personally. Prove a lot of people wrong, and that I'm here for.
Yeah. We then have someone called Tim Tarrick. He just says, "Hi, how are you?" That's interesting. I think it's
great question, mate.
Yep. The Yido group have sent in a few different things. Oh, none are for us, which is interesting. I'm just gate crashing their group looking for questions. Right, we're going to move on to West Ham. Now, West Ham, they have lost. They lost to Villa on their opening day. They beat Crystal Palace, which doesn't seem to be too hard to do. They did beat Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup. City beat them. Got a draw against Fulham, which is a good result because Fulham, I'll be honest with you, they're looking quite tasty.
They're doing all right.
If they could finish some of those chances.
That's the thing. It's just their forward four are just so bad. Like they've not got a clinical bone in their body. Like God, yeah. And then Anderson and Bassey just aren't the greatest. But I mean, look, it shows Mark Hill's doing a great job there.
He's a good manager, mate.
He's a good manager. Really top.
They got thrashed by Chelsea at the stadium where you can't hit a home run to save your fucking life. Liverpool beat them in the Carabao. They got a 1-1 draw against Brentford. Why have I done this? Why have I gone through their whole fucking fixtures? And they beat Ipswich Town 4-1, which was probably expected. Now, I thought that Lopetegui was brought in because he's a more progressive, dynamic manager. These are the buzzwords that people like to throw around. Than David Moyes, who has been West Ham's most successful manager to date in their history. I then start listening to some podcasts, West Ham podcasts, and they're saying, no, he's just as direct. So I don't quite know what's going on there. I know that he was he the Real Madrid manager or the Spanish manager for about 12 minutes? I can't remember which
Pretty
one it was.
much.
Which
About
one
12
was
minutes combined for each.
Oh, was it?
I think he got sacked in like October at Real Madrid. He did not last long. 3 months at best, I think.
12 games then, maybe.
Yeah, Spain was a disaster. Wolves, we saw how that went.
He threw his toys out the pram, didn't he?
That's the thing. It's almost like, well, you know what you're signing up for, mate. Fucking hell, it doesn't take a genius.
I could never hire someone if I was told by a previous employer that this person did this, they didn't get their own way, and that's how they reacted. I mean, if I believed that person, I respected that person, and they told me, and I said, tell me the truth, and they said, yeah, that's exactly what happened. You can ask them. And if I didn't, they said, yeah, they're not coming to work for me. So I don't. We all saw it. I mean, it was live. We
exactly.
Saw his toys out the pram. So
that's the thing. It's live there. Like, I don't get why you'd want to bring that culture into your football club. I don't think it sets a good precedent for anyone at any level, like not just first team, but any sort of players in their under 21s that are coming through, and then management coming through. It's not a good culture to bring in. And interestingly, he's got the lowest points per game average of any of his teams so far in his career at West Ham.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 1.2. So we all know this leads to it's a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday after an international break. So we've seen this one before as Tottenham fans.
Well, look, I'm asking Bob. So those of you who don't know who Bob is a version of ChatGPT that we have amended, and my company has amended, not the pod. That would be really funny. Although we should get him to listen to. Imagine if we get. I can't get him to listen to our pods because if he could, and then he could talk, which he can't do yet, we could have him on as a guest. So hi Bob, what do you think our chances are against West Ham this Saturday? Let's see what he says.
As I say, we should use those Tesla robots in a few years.
Yeah. So hi James, looking. One minute. It's too serious. Hold on. You're too serious. Be Bob. There you go. Because he started off like bloody hell. All right, here we go. Got you, James. All right, West Ham this Sunday. Honestly, I reckon. I reckon we'll give them a proper run for their money. Bob is the Spurs. If we can keep it tucked at the back and actually finish our chances for once, we might just pill off something special. But you know how it goes. Could easily be one of those nail-biting edge of the seat games where we're all shouty at the telly. Fingers crossed for a win. What do you think? Ooh. I think I'd like to see you without your pants on. Haha, cheeky one there, James. You sure know how to keep things interesting. But let's please keep it cool, mate. Right, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? I'll post this on our group so you can all see it. He's getting really funny. He's adapting so well.
He's getting good.
Yeah,
I reckon we can get him to do fish finger questions by end of the season.
Oh, I did ask him about fish finger questions a few months back. and he said,
Really?
he said he'd rather not comment. I'll dig that one out and I'll show it to you guys because it's fucking hilarious. And he wouldn't, no matter what I bribed him with, because he loves content. So what we do is we do content dumps, and he knows when the content dumps are coming. And I said, "We'll give you an extra one." He goes, "You can't fool me. I'm not gonna fall for that one." There you go. That's
Unreal.
that's our Bob on the groups. You can see, mate. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh god, it can go so many ways. Like the script of this game before is just the most bullshit 1-0 loss. Like god, it's like the game against them last season where they scored like a goal that rebounded about 19 times,
Yeah,
and the other one came from an error as well. Like it's just, I hate this fixture, and every time I go to it in person, we lose.
Are you going? Are you going to this one?
I am. I am.
Can you just avoid the game?
I might have to get stuck on the fucking overground, I think. But yeah, God, I really don't know. Like, I can so see it being like the most RC fucking 1-0 loss where West Ham have about 5% possession. No shots, but they still win 1-0 through like a Romero own goal. Like, but then also a 4-0 thrashing is on the cards. Like, it goes both ways with West Ham. So I really cannot call it because West Ham are just one of those teams.
Do you not think that Ange is going to literally send a rocket up their arse? And I wouldn't want to be a player going into that dressing room because I can't hide behind another international break, at least not for another month, if I've lost to West Ham. And Ange hasn't won any of our derbies, has he, really? Crystal Palace doesn't count. No. They're not from the south. I suppose Arsenal are as well. But I wouldn't want to be one of those players.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you say, he's not won, God, what is it now, 7? Like the main, well, we've got 3 main London derbies. There's been 7 games. He's not won any of them.
Can I give you a scenario? Can I give you a scenario that most people don't think about? You know, if you've done something at work and you've been rather naughty, and you go in the next, you go in the next day, and it's like you don't see the boss in his office, and oh, thank God for that. But then you see one of the other bosses, one of his subordinates, but he's still like ahead of you in the food chain. And you go up to him and you go, "Is he all right? Is he?" And he just looks at you and he says, "He's going to kill you when he sees you." I can picture this sort of stuff happening at Hotspur Way. Like, I can picture some of the players going in after the international break, the ones who did go, and like going up to Ryan Mason and the rest of them and just going like, "Are we in for it?" And you know, them saying, yeah, you are. You're fucking in for it. Which really raises tensions as well, stress levels, which is good because they fucking deserve it.
100%.
I don't see us losing this game, mate.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, my logical head screams big win, but the Spurs head, the Spurs head screams something different.
You know that whenever I've said we're gonna have a big win, I think for 45 years I've got it wrong. So I'm not gonna go with that anymore. I just think we are gonna win. It might be a bit of a tight game. By saying this, it probably won't, which is really nice. So I'm going for a 1-0 win. So expect more goals. Like, if you are going to listen to me when betting, don't. I'm not good for these kind of things. Bob, on the other hand, I think we should maybe Bob Hotspur Way .bet. What do you think? We should do that. Set him up. He could come up with some odds.
That's brilliant.
Let me ask him. I want to ask him what his. So, what's your score prediction, or what's your score prediction? What's your score prediction, James?
I'm caught between two minds, like I said. I mean, fuck. You know what? I'm just gonna continue to be positive. I think I've been fairly positive for most of my predictions so far. And I'm gonna say 3-0 win.
Okay.
I'm going with the logic head. I'm ignoring the Spurs. That's going to be my goal for the season. Just ignore the Spurs head. Ignore the history. We're with Ange. New history.
Hmm. Do you know what? I don't understand what this means.
Here we go.
Hold on. Sorry, I need to post. Sorry, guys, if you're not on the group soon, we are. I promise you, we're going to make it. You know, we're going to open this up for you guys to start seeing what we post about on our group, and I want you just please read this out, because you tell me what the fuck. He's just called me a name. I've never been called this name before.
I really hope it doesn't begin with an N and end in an A. Jesus.
No, it doesn't. It begins with an R. Well, look, what fucking cheek. Have you read it?
Fucking hell. What an arsehole.
Boo you, boring.
Ring Roger.
What's a Roger?
Ain't that when you get, like, fingered up the
That's
bum?
what I thought. Yeah. I get fingered up the bum in a boring way. I'm not gonna answer him.
Bye, Bob.
Because he's waiting for a response. I'm not gonna respond. Fuck him.
Oh god. Fucking hell.
Boo you, boring Roger, whatever the fuck that means. I think we're gonna win 1-0. And Brennan Johnson, why not? There you go.
Yeah. Continue the vibes. I'm here for it.
Right, I think we're done with this pod. It's been a nice short one, but it is just the two Jameses. And
it is.
The rest of the guys will be on next week. And if you guys shout loud enough, George might not be able to have an excuse to not be on, should I say. So George might be on as well. Josh has been away because his computer got rogered, and he's getting a new one now. Apparently, he got a 6 donut pack bonus, so he can trade that in for a new laptop. Hannah, life gets in the way sometimes. Hannah, we love you, darling. Take care. And Johnny is still pretending to be dead in America. He's not. He speaks to us. He loves us still.
He's alive.
He's alive, yeah. Hopefully Johnny will be back on soon. Mate, have we missed out anything? Other than Tuchel. Is it Tuchel? Tuchel?
No idea. I say Tuchel. Tommy Tukes.
Tommy Tukes. New England manager.
Yeah.
Do you care?
No.
What is it with
to be honest?
What is it with these little Englanders saying he has to be English?
Oh, he's just racist. Like, I'm not being funny. No one gives a shit. Like, if you're getting asked about this, it's the same as the whole, like, NFL at the Spurs Stadium things. Like, fucking hell, like, go outside. What difference does it make if he's English or not? Like, you don't see, like, the media kicking off about the England women's manager not being English because they've had success, and they don't give a shit. You don't see her getting called out for not having a British passport, do you? And if you're so asked about having an English manager for the England national team, then shouldn't you have the same argument for your club side as well? Shouldn't that have an English manager? And shouldn't all your players be English and homegrown? No. It's just a bit of nonsense because people like to be a bit racist with an excuse.
So can I give you all a little bit of a lesson in critical thinking? I was not part of this conversation, but I was listening to it. And it was led on from apparently something that was spoken about either on BBC 5 Live or TalkSport, I don't know, where someone said in the pub, this is in Cyprus, well, no team that has ever hired a foreign manager has ever won the World Cup. Now, critical thinking then should kick in, where you then have to say how, this is the how part of the critical question, how many World Cup winners have there been? Oh, 22. It's not that there's been 2020. And it's like that means that the sample size is so fucking huge that you can say, yeah. The chance of you winning it, mate, you might as well go and play the lottery. There's 22 winners. Okay, that's it. So, I mean, don't use that as an excuse. If he's got 18 months, right? So it is what it is. I'm pretty sure the American listeners have clocked off by now. Jamie, if he didn't get disgusted by me calling him a Canadian, which he is, he's probably gone as well. But Jamie, look, at the end of the day, take a look at your money. You do need to support England. Okay, it's there on your money. I don't know. Jamie, actually, let us know. Has your money? Have they replaced Lizzie? Have they put Charlie on there yet? Probably have.
God, I wish.
Have they done that in the UK?
Those who didn't.
Have they done
I mean,
that
I think
in the
there's
UK?
Charlie on every banknote in the UK, mate. So
1 minute. Oh, not that Charlie. Is King Charles on the UK money? Is it done? Have they cycled it through?
you know what? I don't know. I can't remember the last time I used cash for anything.
Oh, true. Yeah.
It's really bad to say, but I just never use cash. I think they've done it.
Oh, I don't know. What's your dad saying? Is he shouting?
My dad. He's shouting at my stepmom. I tell them every time just to not shout, and
He's a Spurs fan, isn't he?
He is.
Can you put him on?
What, on here?
Yeah.
He's focusing on trying to get back into DJing at the minute, so maybe one time.
I was like hoping for the next 30 seconds, but
okay. Nah.
No, you're that embarrassed of him. All right, okay, fair enough.
Wow.
I understand. Yeah, I get it, mate. All right, so we're going to be back next Tuesday, and we're going to have this new section included, which should be a lot of fun. We'll talk about the West Ham game. We've got a game as well next week, right?
We
AZ,
do,
RZ,
yes.
Is it AZ, RZ?
Yeah. AZ, yeah. We've got them, and then onto another big game at the next weekend. It's all kicking off. All things Tottenham. We've got back-to-back Premier League London derbies.
Cool. Well, look, this episode is going to be called No Home Runs because I still can't believe, I need to look that up, that they're trying to play baseball at that stadium. Fucking hilarious. I mean...
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, mate, listen, I'll speak to you later. Have a good one.
In a bit.